Alright, what is up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Chris and today I'm back with another video here, and the Flyers lose 5-4 in overtime. Another overtime loss here on the road trip. Just what a sweet play by Ristolainen in overtime. Just dump the puck in. Why not? Possession, main thing in 3-on-3. Had the possession pretty much the whole period. Just dump it in. Why not? It's great. So clearly you can tell I'm frustrated. It was a very, it really wasn't a bad game from the Flyers. I mean, frustrating at times, a little sloppy sometimes. It felt like for a while they couldn't really get a play going cleanly, I guess I should say. It wasn't that they played bad or anything, and you tie the game late and you dominate the whole overtime. You had a couple chances in overtime. But, starting out with the lines, Hayes, Cates, Konechny, Farabee, Lawton, McEwen, Van Riemsdyk, Frost, and Tippett, which was fantastic. Morgan Frost with a 4-point night. It's just incredible. Really, really good stuff from Frost. Goal and 3 assists. Delorier with Sedlak and Brown, Provorov and Ristolainen, Sanheim and Braun, Sealer and York. So York was on the right side, and Carter Hart in net for this one. It had York on the right side, but he played pretty much most of the game on the left side. So again, that was kind of a miscue in the warm-ups, but Tony DeAngelo was reported by Jim Jackson that he had a family matter, and JJ said that on the broadcast. So in the first period, really wasn't a good period from the Flyers overall. They go down 1-0. In 22 of 29 games this season for the Flyers, the opponent has scored first. So that's obviously not a recipe for winning. Early on, that would happen, and the Flyers would come back and they would win majority of games. But yeah, it has been a while, and really just a bad theme for the season where they haven't been able to score first. So Keller scores on the power play for Arizona. And the Flyers had two shifts, both from the Hayes line. Hayes had a quick shot off the 3-1-2 rush, and then Konechny had a chance as well in tight. Arizona gets that power play on a slash from Ristolainen where he broke his own stick. It was a slashing motion, but the stick was broken, and they called it. So 1-0. Keller would score with 3-4 seconds left. There was a lot of traffic in front. I thought the Flyers did a good job overall before that, killing it off. Krause has a breakaway. After that, Hart had a really nice save, and the Flyers get a power play. Tippett had a chance off of a play that kind of just squirted kind of right out to him. Quick shot, but outside of that, it really wasn't much for the Flyers on that power play. Just really not a good first period overall, and they had a great second. Scored 3 goals. They gave up 2, but they did score 3, and Frost would tie the game here off a really nice shift overall to start the period. JVR followed up. Nice play from last game. Again, I mentioned I thought he was like their best forward. He's been great since coming back. Rusty in the game against Washington, but since then, those 2 games, he's been fantastic. So again, really nice play. Frost kind of right there, slam dunk, gets a goal. Sealer and Krause fight. Wasn't really a fight. It was more of like a wrestling match kind of thing. Sealer just kind of jumped Krause, and it was a clean hit on Cates. But the whole bench kind of jumped up, and they ended up calling it 4-on-4 for roughing instead of 5 minutes each for fighting and keep playing it at 5-on-5. But the Flyers would score off a really nice play from Frost, and what didn't get talked about at any point of this game was the stick lift that Frost had on Chychrun. Chychrun, again, yes, made a bad play, but let's not make it like Frost didn't make a good play here. Frost made a really nice play, stick lift, finds it over to JVR, slam dunk. JVR said in the intermission is kind of like a muffin, but he'll take it. So 2-1, the Flyers have a lead, and then again, it's so unfortunate because the way that the play kind of opened up for Arizona that tied the game on Keller's second of the game. He ended up being wide open out all the way out, and it was a block shot, and Smalls just let a really nice pass out to him. It just feathered it right onto his stick. It was kind of slow, but it had enough speed to get to him, and where he had enough time to kind of get there. It wasn't like he rifled a pass all the way up. So Keller scores on a breakaway. 2-2. I thought Hart, there were 2 breakaway goals in this game. You'd need Hart to at least save one of them. This one's an unfortunate kind of bounce Ristolainen wasn't really in the play because Keller got behind him, and I don't think he expected it to just kind of sit there off of the block shot either. And then McBain would score to make it 3-2, and it was just a bounce that lands on his stick. So two kind of unfortunate bounces, not great defensive plays either. McEwen lost his man on that one. So 3-2. Konechny had a breakaway. It was shown by Vejmelka. Really nice shift by the Frost line. They had a nice chance for the Konechny and Cates line. The Flyers woke up after that. Hayes had a play where he just kind of walked out in front, almost scored. The Flyers were buzzing. They had looks. They had a lot of chances late in the game. Arizona didn't have a shot for a while, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But Tippett would tie the game at 3. It was a beautiful play, just a really good shift. And Frost with that little inside-outside move that he does along the wall, a little spin move, sets it up for Tippett. Kind of a seeing eye shot, had a good screen in front, and the Flyers tie the game 3-3. And overall, it was a pretty good period. It wasn't great for a couple of minutes, but they woke up, they tied the game, and you go into it, and only had one win tied after the second period, and Sedlak had a chance early and just missed it. If he elevates that, the Flyers are up 4-3. McEwen and Brown fight. Wasn't really much of a fight either. Again, a little over 10 minutes. Arizona, they had their 23rd shot at 16:51 of the third, so it was a little over 10 minutes. And the Flyers have done this a lot, and I've mentioned this. They did this again on November 26th against the Islanders, November 29th against the Islanders again, the second of the back-to-back. They did it on December 3rd against New Jersey, December 5th against Colorado, December 9th, last game against Vegas, and now December 11th tonight against Arizona, where they've held a team to at least 10 minutes, maybe a little bit more around that span, a good chunk of the game without a shot, or maybe limited to one shot or something like that. And this is just by me tracking it, and also the TV kind of saying it as well on the broadcast. Like, this has been a recurring theme, and it's definitely something that you'd like to hear. It's definitely a good thing when you're holding a team. Now, again, it is Arizona, but some of these teams are playing really well. Vegas, the Islanders have been a pretty good team for most of the season. Colorado, despite the injuries, they're obviously a real good team. And New Jersey as well. And, the Flyers don't win many of these games, only 2 of them. But still, that's still a good sign for, the system and all of that stuff. And then Richie would score on a breakaway after I finished typing this. And it was the block shot. It very unfortunate. Kind of similar to that Boone Jenner breakaway against Columbus. It's a block shot that goes all the way out, and it was connecting off a set play. The shot goes, blocks from Richie, and then it would have been nice for Hart to save that. Flyers get a power play. Chikrin with a high stick. Just horrible, absolutely horrible power play. They did nothing with it at all. Konechny had a chance in the slot, and then McEwen gets hurt. Have to wait and see if there's an update on McEwen. Really nothing there. Or no update since, I should say. Lawton had a chance off of a broken stick, almost scored there, and the Flyers called timeout with 2:29 left, and they pull the goalie, and the beautiful play that ties it. Frost with a nice play in tight. Konechny, who was frustrated, clearly a couple times had some chances and was, at least getting himself some looks. Clearly was frustrated going to the bench, things like that. He scores his 11th of the year. Just a beautiful play by Frost, and a nice play by Konechny just to go to the net, and the Flyers tie it, and then again overtime. So, again, pretty good third period. The Flyers dominate in shots. They have a lot of chances. They end up tying it. And, again, why are 2 defensemen out in overtime? It's basically like they're trying to play for a shootout, and historically they are literally the worst team ever in the shootout. I don't get it. And why is Ristolainen out there of all players? Like, he doesn't do anything. He could maybe do something for you 5-on-5, like offensively. Maybe, he's got the shot, whatever. I personally don't think so, but some people do. And, 3-on-3, he does nothing for you offensively. Absolutely nothing. York looked really good in this game. Again, Frost. And this was last night, too. Like, Hayes doesn't even see the ice after the turnover last night. And this is essentially his 3rd turnover in overtime for the season. And if the next game that goes to overtime, I wouldn't be surprised if Ristolainen isn't out there either. It wasn't a direct play that led to it, but he gets it on the wall and just dumps it. Well, there's like 40 seconds left, and I get it. You're changing, but what you should have done was turned it around, found somebody, or sent it back down to Hart. And you could have held it and you know, at least started a rush up there, or just held it back in the own zone to try to figure out a play to go up the ice. Like, you don't just dump it in overtime. Possession is the main thing. And Keller, what happens? Again, Keller gets a chance and they cycle it around and he kind of beats York a little bit, and Hart actually got kind of, it looked like he got kind of jammed on it, and it goes right through his arm. And it's in the net. And Keller gets a hat trick. Look, Hart gave up a couple softies tonight. I'm not gonna lie. Some of them, not really his fault, but I know when you're giving up breakaways, you know, you can't always give up breakaways, but some of them were definitely savable. You know, the first goal of the game, you know, screen in front, and then the third goal from McBain, again, broken type of play, but both of the breakaway goals and the overtime goal definitely could have been savable. I mean, it's not like, you know, and again, I'm not blaming Hart. I didn't really think he should have even started this game to begin with, and that's not why I'm saying that. I tweeted it earlier. You know, I would have made sense for Sandstrom to at least play, because he had now tomorrow, Monday, it's 10:28 p.m. on Sunday the 11th as I'm recording this. Sandstrom, this will be 7 straight games, and it'll be 17 days as we hit midnight tonight. So Monday will be 17 days since Sandstrom has seen game ice. It would have been a perfect opportunity for him to play. So what, is Sandstrom only going to play in back-to-backs now, or what? Like, he should have played tonight, and that's not because of Hart. That's more of Tortorella coaching to win instead of trying to develop, you know, certain players and things like that, because Sandstrom needs to play too. Can't just sit there, because then you're just going to run Hart to the ground. You know, there's a reason only one team in the league does that, and it's Tampa, and they did it with Vasilevsky, and he played 77 games of the 82 last year. And if you're just looking at schedule and when he could play, okay, you have Colorado coming up on Tuesday. One of these games he's going to have to play. I would have given him tonight. If not, I'd give him Tuesday against Colorado. You have the Devils and the Rangers. You could do Hart both of those games. Then you have Columbus, Toronto, and then there's a back-to-back. So I would assume I would give Sandstrom Tuesday against the Avs. I'd give him Columbus on the 20th, and then one of the games before the Christmas break for a couple of days. But just frustrating. I mean, again, why is Ristolainen out there in overtime? You know, you have looks like that. You have legit chances. And look, I know you're trying to win games too. I mean, not, again, I said this last year, not all the players want, you know, really, I guess I should say, care about where the Flyers will be drafting. It's not like they play to lose. I don't really think rooting for the team to lose is the best really thing either. I personally don't do that at all. I understand, you know, the reasoning, you know, that it's a very high pick, it's a very good, you know, draft, all that stuff, but that doesn't mean, you know, you want the team to lose every game. It's just not even, it just doesn't make any sense. So it is what it is, and right now the Flyers are what they are. You know, they're not going to score as much, and when you have, you know, again, literally zero room for error, and it proves itself every single game, like tonight, when you dump the puck in 3-on-3 overtime, that's what happens. So there we go. And yeah, so that's all I got for this one. Dave Pullen will be joining me on episode 21 of FFM 93 Live. I'm very, very excited for that. I'm recording that interview tomorrow. It will air Tuesday night, the 13th at 7 o'clock. That interview will be airing, and I'll also be previewing the Flyers versus Avalanche game at 9 o'clock. As for the Flyers fan club, check out all that stuff, and we are on the road to 2,000 subscribers. So hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed this video, and I will talk to you all again soon.